The llanos of Venezuela, vast windswept plains stretching as far as the eye can see. These plains, known for their stark beauty, are also shrouded in mystery and ancient fear. A place of stark beauty and ancient fear. The llanos are not just a geographical location. They are a realm where the past and present intertwine, where the whispers of old legends still echo through the winds. Here, under a sun-drenched sky, a legend whispers on the wind. The wind carries with it stories from long ago, tales that have been passed down through generations, tales that still send shivers down the spine of those who hear them. The legend of El Silbón, the whistler, a figure that haunts the plains, a ghostly presence that is said to appear when least expected, bringing with it a sense of dread and foreboding. A terrifying tale passed down through generations. In the dimly lit rooms of ancient villages, elders recount the story of El Silbón, their voices trembling as they describe the horrors associated with this spectral figure, a story of betrayal, murder, and restless, vengeful spirit. El Silbón is said to be the spirit of a young man who committed a heinous crime and now roams the plains, forever tormented by his actions. It's a story told to warn children. Around campfires and in the safety of their homes, children listen wide-eyed as the tale of El Silbón is told, a cautionary story meant to keep them safe, to keep them close to home. The legend serves as a reminder to the young ones to stay close to their families, to avoid wandering off into the unknown where danger might lurk. A story that chills the blood, even under the hottest sun. The tale of El Silbón is so powerful that it can send chills down the spine even on the hottest days, a testament to the enduring power of this haunting legend. The legend is not just a story. It is a part of the cultural fabric of the Llanos. It is written in old books, depicted in eerie illustrations and spoken of in hushed tones. The community comes together to share these tales, to keep the legend alive. It is a way of preserving their history, their fears and their beliefs. Under the night sky, when the stars are out and the moon casts an eerie glow, the presence of El Silbón feels even more real. The whispers on the wind become louder and the legend comes to life. Children clutch their blankets tighter, peering out of windows, half expecting to see the ghostly figure of El Silbón. The fear is palpable, a shared experience that binds the community together. The elders, with their knowing looks and wise expressions, continue to tell the story, ensuring that the legend of El Silbón is never forgotten. It is a part of who they are, a part of their identity. As dawn breaks over the llanos, the whispers on the wind fade, but the legend remains. It is a reminder of the past, a story that will continue to be told for generations to come. Life goes on, but the legend of El Silbón is always there, a silent presence that watches over the plains, a whisper on the wind that will never be silenced. The story begins with a spoiled young man. He craved the finest venison, demanded his father hunt it. The father, weary, returned empty-handed. The son, enraged, committed a terrible act. He murdered his own father, then cooked his heart. The grandfather, horrified, cursed the boy, forced him to carry his father's bones, condemned him to wander the plains for eternity. Thus, El Silbón was born. El Silbón is a skeletal figure. Dressed in rags, a wide-brimmed hat shading his skull-like face, he carries a sack. Inside, the bones of his father rattle with each step, a chilling reminder of his crime. He wanders the plains, eternally seeking forgiveness. But his sin is too great. He is condemned to bring terror to all who cross his path. On nights when the moon hangs heavy in the sky, El Silbón walks. He travels the plains, his silhouette a dark omen against the silver light. His eyes, burning embers in his skull, search for his next victim. He prefers the blood of men, especially those who drink too much, who disrespect their elders. He is a grim reaper, delivering a gruesome justice. A symphony of fear, the whistling draws near. El Silbón announces his presence with a chilling melody, a haunting whistle carried on the wind. It starts low, almost inaudible, then grows louder, closer, each note a step closer to doom. The whistle is deceptive. Sometimes it sounds far away, then suddenly he's upon you. The sound chills the blood, paralyzes the soul. It is the sound of death approaching. A mother's intuition, a warning, unheeded. One hot summer night, a mother sat on her porch. The air was thick with humidity, and the stars were hidden behind a veil of clouds. She had always found solace in the quiet of the night, a moment to herself after the day's chores were done. But tonight felt different. There was an unsettling stillness in the air, a sense of foreboding that she couldn't shake off. The air was still, the silence broken only by the chirping of crickets. Suddenly, she heard it. It was faint at first, almost imperceptible, but it grew louder with each passing second, a sound that sent chills down her spine. It was a whistling, a haunting melody that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. A faint whistling carried on the breeze. The tune was eerie, almost otherworldly, and it seemed to weave through the trees, rustling the leaves as it passed. She had heard stories of this sound, tales passed down through generations. It was said to be the call of El Silbón, the whistler, a ghostly figure that roamed the night, bringing doom to those who heard his song. She recognized the melody instantly. It was El Silbón. Her grandmother had warned her about him, recounting the legend with a grave expression. El Silbón was a restless spirit, cursed to wander the earth, his presence heralded by his mournful whistle. Those who heard it were said to be marked for misfortune or worse. She rushed inside, her heart pounding. Panic surged through her veins as she bolted the door behind her. She knew she had to protect her children. The stories had always seemed like mere folklore, but in that moment they felt all too real. She couldn't take any chances. She gathered her children, locked them in the bedroom. Her hands trembled as she turned the key, her mind racing with fear and determination. She had to keep them safe, no matter what. The sound of the whistle seemed to grow louder, echoing through the walls of the house. "Don't make a sound," she whispered, fear constricting her throat. Her children looked up at her with wide, frightened eyes, sensing the gravity of the situation. She held them close, praying silently for their safety. The night stretched on, each minute feeling like an eternity. The whistling continued, a relentless reminder of the danger lurking outside. She could only hope that the dawn would bring an end to the nightmare. The shadow at the window, death's harbinger, the whistling grew louder, closer. The mother huddled in the darkness, her children clinging to her. Then she saw it. A shadow fell across the window, tall, gaunt, unmistakable. El Silbón stood outside, his eyes like burning coals peered through the window. The mother held her breath, praying he wouldn't hear the frantic beating of her heart. The next morning, the village awoke to a chilling discovery. A group of men, drinking late the night before, were found dead. Their bodies drained of blood, their bones scattered. The mark of El Silbón. Fear gripped the village. People stayed indoors after dark. Whispers of El Silbón filled every corner. The legend was real, and it walked among them. The village priest, a man of deep faith, decided to confront the evil. Armed with only a crucifix and his faith, he walked into the heart of the plains. He prayed for El Silbón's soul, for an end to the terror. The wind picked up, whipping his robes around him. The whistling grew louder, closer. El Silbón was near. El Silbón appeared before the priest. His skeletal face seemed to contort in pain. His bony hands clutched the bag of bones. For a moment, the whistling ceased. There was only silence. The priest spoke softly, offering words of comfort, of hope for redemption. Tears like liquid fire streamed down El Silbón's face, a flicker of remorse from a tortured soul. The priest's prayer brought a moment of peace. In the quiet of the church, the flickering candles cast long shadows on the ancient walls, creating an atmosphere of solemnity and reverence. The priest, with his eyes closed and hands clasped tightly, whispered fervent prayers, seeking solace and protection for his flock. The air was thick with the scent of incense, a reminder of the sacredness of the space and the weight of the words being spoken. El Silbón retreated into the night, his mournful whistle fading into the distance. The forest, shrouded in darkness, seemed to come alive with the whispers of the past. The trees, tall and foreboding, swayed gently in the night breeze, their leaves rustling like the hushed voices of those who had encountered the legend. The shadowy figure, barely visible in the dim light, moved with an eerie grace, as if guided by an unseen force. The whistle, haunting and sorrowful, echoed through the night, a chilling reminder of the presence that lingered just beyond the edge of perception. But the legend lived on. In the pages of old weathered books, the story of El Silbón was preserved, passed down from generation to generation. The village, with its cobblestone streets and ancient buildings, seemed to hold the memories of the past within its very walls. As the sunset, casting a golden glow over the landscape, the shadowy figure appeared once more, a silent sentinel watching over the village. The legend, though old, remained as vivid and powerful as ever, a testament to the enduring power of stories and the lessons they carry. A chilling reminder of the consequences of sin. The cemetery, with its weathered tombstones and overgrown paths, stood as a stark reminder of the past. The fog, thick and impenetrable, clung to the ground, creating an atmosphere of mystery and foreboding. Each tombstone told a story, a life lived and lost, a reminder of the fragility of existence and the weight of one's actions. The abandoned churchyard, once a place of worship and community, now stood silent and desolate, a testament to the passage of time and the consequences of sin. And so the story of El Silbón is passed down through generations. Around the warmth of the fireplace, families gathered to share tales of the past. The elderly, with their wisdom and experience, recounted the legend with a sense of reverence and caution. The children, wide-eyed and attentive, listened intently, absorbing the lessons and warnings embedded in the story. The rustic setting, with its simple furnishings and cozy atmosphere, provided the perfect backdrop for the sharing of these timeless tales. The story of El Silbón, with its themes of sin, redemption, and the supernatural, continued to captivate and educate, ensuring that the legend would never be forgotten. A cautionary tale whispered on the wind. The wind, ever present and restless, carried with it the whispers of the past. Through the abandoned village, where the echoes of former inhabitants seemed to linger, the wind wove its way, rustling leaves and stirring memories. In the dark, eerie forest, the wind's whispers took on an almost human quality, as if the spirits of those who had encountered El Silbón were trying to communicate their warnings. The rustling leaves, like the pages of an old book, told a story of caution and consequence, a reminder that the past is never truly gone and that its lessons must be heeded. A reminder that some sins can never be forgiven and some souls are condemned to wander for eternity. The desolate landscape, with its barren fields and misty horizons, seemed to stretch on forever, a fitting backdrop for the ghostly figure that wandered its expanse. The shadowy figure, moving through the mist with a sense of purpose and sorrow, embodied the weight of eternal punishment. As dusk settled, casting long shadows and a sense of melancholy over the scene, the forlorn figure stood alone, a poignant symbol of the consequences of one's actions. The legend of El Silbón, with its themes of sin and redemption, served as a powerful reminder of the importance of living a righteous life and the eternal consequences of one's choices.